Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Todd the Barber. I'm down from Columbus, Mississippi. I know a few of you guys said that you're familiar with it. It's a hole in the wall. There's not much going on there. I think my population density is about 22,000. So it's out of nowhere. A couple years ago, I joined Chris Boccio's six-figure barber program because ultimately I wanted something different. I've been, my family does business, beauty supplies. I've done beauty supplies for almost a decade now. That shit sucks. There's nothing good about it. Dealing with customers, haggling with vendors. It's just not the lifestyle that I wanted to do. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's start barbering. What else could we do? Turns out I got a passion for it. Turns out it was something I was made to do. And thanks to Chris's program, in my experience as a barber, I was able to hit six figures last year. Let me see here. Currently, as of February 2024, this is my average income as a barber. That's what I hit. That's what I hit in February. I do $30 haircuts. I'm not a high price barber. I'm not the highest paid person in my room.
How much you made?
$30.
No. How much you made for the month of February?
$10,182 for February. If you did the math, that's 120. That's 120 a year. Anybody can live off that and make bukus of money. But the biggest thing is, I work my ass off for this. I do 20 heads a day. I'm constantly booked. At this point, I hate my job. You look at 20 heads a day, you're gonna hate your job no matter what you do. But the end goal at the end of the day is I want to retire. I want to be done with this. 10 years, 15 years tops, I'm out. I'm quitting. I'm doing something else. That's why I'm putting in the dedication now. With the mentorship, I learned how to be a businessman. I'm a good barber, but I found out that I need to be a great businessman if I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Things I found out while in the program. I know everybody wants to be on social media. I know everybody wants to be on TikTok, Instagram. Those markets are not as good as Google. Focus on Google. Google is used by everybody. It's 90% of the market. And if your business on Google, people will find you. Not saying social media is not the ticket, but the subset of how many people actually use social media is small compared to the large majority. It's which, as a barber, you want to target. Most people use social media for social acceptance. I'm not saying you can't market on social media, but if you focus on Google, which most people use, you'll have a whole lot easier time scaling, finding barbers, and just becoming drilling more popular. Also, I found in my program, they talk about finding ships. If you as a barber is going to improve, you got to find a ship that you can be on that will take you to the next level. And what do I mean by that? Most barber owners are shit. They don't know how to run a company, they don't know how to run a business, they don't know anything about barbering, and they're usually the wrong type of people who are in this industry. Well, how are you as a barber going to improve? You're going to have to find a barbershop, you're going to have to work in it, you're going to have to try to make the money. But at the end of the day, there's just not a lot of good ones. But you, as a barber, your job is to find someone that will help you elevate your game. Where there's that, currently my problem is I make six figures, but I have nobody to help me. I'm literally in a small studio in a town, a population of 20,000. I'm having to build a ship. Like my guy says up there, he's been in a situation where he's seen barbers, they don't do shit. And that's pretty much in every case. I can tell you multiple stories where barbers, they don't do what they need to do to grind. And personally have to come and think, is the ship that I'm on good enough to carry me? Can I make 6 figures on my location? Is my boss going to allow me to go up in prices? Are they fair enough to where they're not going to nickel and dime me? I talk to guys in New York and they get 50% of their commission taken, and they think that's normal. That is not normal. But in these bigger cities, that's what you got. That's what you got to fight for. But at the end of the day, if you're making 6 figures, who cares where you work for, as long as they're not nickel and diming you. So like I said, find a ship that you can survive in, get busy, decide what you want to do. Most people, they want to get their own shop, they want to be their own studio, be their own barbershop. And some people, they just want to cut, don't even have to deal with any of the hustle and bustle in their own business. So I would suggest looking at that. Also, one thing they taught me in the program is be good with your money. I know barbers are real bad with it, with money. If I could say anything, everybody has their personal vices. That's on them. But at the end of the day, we're trying to retire, and we need to plan accordingly. Whether that is putting 10% of your income away in stocks, buying property instead of buying a nice house, forego the nice car for a little while, nice clothes. At the end of the day, we're trying to build a legacy. Like I said, you can't take it with us. So at the end of the day, we just need to build. And those are just some of the small things that I've learned. I'm gonna open the floors. Anybody got any questions?
So, how was it for you to just like make that jump? At what point you were like, I have to take consideration of joining a mentorship? You know, us as men, we have too much pride and be like, yo, I don't need help from somebody else, but you truly do need help. It can be, you know, mental help, or it can be financial help, or it can just be from, you know, you just lost completely and you just need to be guided, right? At one point, you felt like that mentorship was like the answer for you.
At the end of the day, I don't know this shit. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if you ever had this experience, but my barber college didn't teach me shit. I came out of nowhere. The only thing I could do to get better was to take classes. Well, if you search barbering haircutting classes, who pops up? Chris Basio. He helped me get to where I was. He led me. And eventually I got hungrier. Well, who do you go to next? You find the next guy, then the next guy. And you just keep on applying. You can learn from anybody and everybody as long as you put your mind to it. You can learn something from everybody, and that's your mindset as a barber. I'm not the best business person. I wasn't 2 years ago. Now I'm leaps and bounds better because on a day-to-day basis, I don't get access to tax strategies. I don't get access to 401k strategies. But there are guys in this industry who do. And that's what you need to learn to be ultimately a better barber and also a better businessman.
So what helped you mature better financially as you went on, like in your process?
The 6-figure program was very good at pushing me. You have guys there that make $170,000. You see guys in other states making $50 a haircut. They're pushing closer to like $3 to $4K a month. Financially, you just look at that and like, well, why can't I do that? Then you keep pushing. You get more clients. You keep pushing. Well, then next thing you know, you're hitting $4,000 a month. Then it goes to 5, then it goes to 7, then it goes to 6, and then now you're hitting like 12K just in 1 month. And financially, then, well, what am I doing with all this money? I can go buy a brand new Toyota Crown, spend $57,000 on it, but ultimately that's not gonna get me to my retirement point. And like I said, ultimately, I don't want to do this for more than 15 years. I want to be done with it. I want to have a fleet of barbers, have shops, have property, have stocks, live off dividends. I want to be done. I want to go do badass shit. So financially, you get to the point where, what do I have to do to get to this level? Well, I'm going to have to start investing. I'm going to have to start buying property. I'm gonna have to start living in shitholes, fixing it up, renting it out. I'm gonna personally, you're just gonna have to level yourself up, and you're gonna realize, well, how do I do that? I gotta be smarter with my finances. I gotta learn a way, a pace to grow. And usually other people are better to learn from than yourself, especially when you do not know. And like I said, there's always a strategy, man. I'm gonna go up in prices. And like I said, I made 10K last month. And when I go up, my ceiling's gonna hit $60,000, $70,000 a year. 170,000, 160,000. But my idea is when I go up in my prices, I'm gonna make sure I have the clientele that follows me. Because historically, if you do go up, you're gonna lose about 20 to 30 of your clients, percentage-wise. But the idea is, as soon as you do, the extra, dude, if I could do 12 haircuts a day, I'd be set. Because I hate doing 20 heads a day. It is just me cutting every 30 minutes, one person after another, no lunch, just grinding it out.
You say you were at 30?
30.
So you going to 40 or you going to 35?
Here's the thing, population density matters. I'm in a small town, population is 120, 125 maybe. My average income is 136,000 a year. My ceiling is very low. I can probably get maybe $40 a cut, and that's probably where I'm capping out.
The average household income that's collected?
Yeah,
It's higher than what it's going to be in Jacksonville.
Jackson has 157,000 people. Also, it has these smaller communities built in with that. So you got a little bit of more leeway to work with. Population density really affects barber, especially as barbers.
Well, I'm from a small town where Columbus and where I'm from pretty much the same. You got a small town, and you will have so many people paying you. If you would go to 40, you would still make your money, but you would just have a certain clientele to where you got people who actually serious. It's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for those who are actually serious about their grooming and value your time and all that.
Correct. At the end of the day, that is the case. People will eventually do that, but I found in smaller towns it takes twice as longer to do that. And when and at the higher price points, if you ever lose a customer, it hurts.
Have you ever thought about changing locations to get to a point where you want to be or being to that goal?
Currently, I'm pigeonholed. Do I want to? That question is, could I move? Yes. Do I want to lose 120K moving? Probably not. The beauty with small towns like my Mississippi.
20 small town
Yeah.
goes so much further than it
Correct. This guy right here. Yes. So the thing is, I see my guys in Tampa making 170. Well, their housing is like up 500,000. 500,000 just for a house. Whereas in my town, a house is about 250. So my money stretches a lot farther. So I can in the same vein, I can invest in a rental property a lot cheaper than my guy in Tampa. And that's the beauty of these small towns. But getting to where you can live off of it takes twice as long. So it took me 2 times as long to get to 6 figures, let's say someone in a population of 100,000. We maybe could have done that in a year. So that's also something I've learned in working in a small town.
I tell anybody, Mississippi is probably the best place to where if you can get over 70,000 in Mississippi.
Oh yeah, exactly. Man. There's not too many places where you can. Housing is like $70 per square foot. That's fucking ridiculous. You go to Tampa, it's like triple to double that. And you see a lot of these bigger cities. People are moving out because they just can't live in it. Like you ain't buying a house in California. Now in the current market and interest rates. So there's a beauty in living in small towns.
So what's your goal, like, as far as outside of barbering business and making money? Like, what's your goal as far as like yourself, like with your, your mind or your soul? Like, what's something that you want to work with that maybe barbering is not allowing you to accomplish that?
So at this point, I'm trying to lead in education. So I think it's a ever revolving circle where it just kind of loops around. Currently, I need more social media presence, but my barbering life at home is great. So now I'm trying to focus getting on the more editorial stuff, more creative stuff. I want to become an educator, so I don't have to. Once I leave the barbering world, I don't have to grind as much as I used to. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I think it's eventually, when you're up here, you're gonna have to start going back here and become an educator, and it just kind of loops around. It's just a matter of what point in your career do you hit that mark.
What's something you're still struggling with, even though you've been so long in the industry?
What's the one more time?
What's something you still struggle with, even with the
Um,
years been in the industry?
I've been a barber for 7 years now. I had a business for 3. I always struggle with my quality of work. I think it can always be better. The fact that I do 30-minute haircuts and the fact that I'm so busy now, I don't push up the quality that I wish I could do, unless something changes in my business model. But currently, I'm trying to grind it out because, like, I'm trying to buy another house this year. I don't want to lose the income. So once I can get some rental properties under my belt, the second house, then we may change some stuff. But I always think I can always do better. I always hate my work. I always look at it and I'm just like, I am the most critical person of my work, even though everybody loves it. And that's the one thing about my career that I wish I could spend more time on.
How long have you been in the program?
I was able to hit 6 figures in 2 years. I've been a day 1 subscriber to it. And like some of the stuff that they teach you in the program is just based off of taxes, right? Like I'm a part of PI currently. I'm a S corporation under the state of Mississippi. I pay myself a wage out of my business, which even though I take in $100,000, I'm only taxed on what a barber is makes in Mississippi, which is about $30K. And my business is now tax deducted at whatever my current income is minus what my business takes. So it basically saves me about $4,000 in taxes a year. And that's something personally I would never know if I didn't get in this group.
So you was it's farmer, but
Yeah, Mississippi barbers only make about $30,000 a year. But it doesn't matter if your business makes $200,000 a year.
Right.
But as long as you're taxed at whatever you're taxed at, it's gonna deduct. So at the end of the day, I like the tax bracket at $70,000 for a business than the $100,000.
Right.
Because essentially, as soon as you get to the $100,000 mark, you get taxed out of the ass.
Yeah.
Like you're paying like 36% in taxes. It hurts.
so you file 100, you gotta pay 36,000.
Not quite. It's leveled. Like
I'm paying about $20K.
yeah, it's a lot. But it's leveled.
That's
Like
with just the LLC though.
at 100K, you pay 37% over this amount. It's like a range, right? So it's like 50 to 70. Once you hit that cap, you get taxed 30% at 50 to 70. So at 1 to 5, like at 1 to 500, you get taxed, whatever that bracket is. And when you go to 10 to 15, you get taxed at that bracket, and so on and so forth. But essentially, it's about 20%.
Should beginner barbers worry about like taxes off the roof, or would you kind of like, try to like, or how will they balance that? Because you fresh in the industry, so now you got somebody that does their taxes in the shop, like do your taxes. And
Well, the whole reason why we do our taxes is because I want to buy houses. And how am I going to buy a house on an income of $3,700? Probably not. So they have to see that as a business that I pay this amount in taxes to get that much funding. And that's the whole idea behind paying your taxes. And as a beginning barber, I would just say, most of y'all are going to start out as a sole proprietor. Do that for a couple years. When you start making about $40K profit, then look into becoming an LLC and switching over corporations. Because as soon as you can start lowering your tax liability, the more money you'll save at the end of the year.
They do a lot of card transactions.
Yes,
So you pretty much got to, just swipe the card.
right. Because I want the proof that I make what I make.
So you need 1099 cash and business.
Not really, because my software Square it does Cash App as a regular transaction, so I don't have to worry about it. Unless someone's actively sending me Cash App money, I don't really have to worry about it.
Like I said, I get 1099 on my cash app business.
Yeah. Do you using like Square or something to process it?
They just sent it to me, and at the end of the year, Cash App keeps up with what I make a month off Cash App, and they collect it and total it out and everything.
See, I don't use Cash App as a business. I use my processing company uses Cash App as
I use
a secondary, right? So I don't technically do Cash App. It just I take Cash App, and that's the way I prefer it because
Square.
I really don't want to pay.
Would you say Square is probably the best, like your best friend as far as like business, like card transactions and all? Because I mean, Cash App, you can Cash App supposedly, like you said, Square lets you Cash App pay from Square and it goes to your Cash App. But like that's another question I was gonna ask you. How important is it to like not separate too much money, like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle? Like,
Oh, it's a headache, man. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to file all those 1099s.
yeah.
Do you really want to do that at the end of the year? Like I can barely file my taxes on time. Let alone do all the 1099s I need to do. It's just easier to have one platform that does it, and I think Square is a good one. I choose Square because it has a good integration into. Has anyone started getting into Book Barber? The platform? That is a AI-driven barbering platform. That's just next level, guys.
What is it?
Booked Barber.
That's an appointment or?
It's an AI-driven barbering platform, so I can manage my Google reviews. I can, if someone was to like message the book barbering program, they'll literally book an appointment for them. You can do video editing. It's pretty much how it's basically designed to you to become next level barber without having to do anything, and it integrates a lot of AI technology. But I find Square integrates very well with Booked Barber, so that's why I kind of push it.
So is that something you have to pay for monthly? Or?
Yes, anything that worth having, you gotta pay monthly. Unfortunately, so I think a basic membership $30 a month.
No, that is smart.
But I just think it's a dope platform to be on because like it will automatically curate my Google reviews. So if someone posts a 5-star review, it'll instantly write a review in the way I would speak. So like, thank you for coming in, blah blah blah. We had a great time. It's an easy way to micromanage everything you need to do as a business owner. Just super simple.
Do you use Booksy or Square for your appointments?
I don't like Booksy as a platform.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with it. I know Lopez uses it, but I just find Booksy you're just another 5-star barber on Booksy at the end of the day, and that's what I don't like about it. If Lopez is never available, they just go to the next spot, and that's what I hate about it.
That your clients can go to another barber?
Yeah, they're just gonna find the next closest 5-star and be like, well, my guy's not there. Let's go check this guy out. Whereas if they're on my platform, let's say they're just on my calendar, they're not gonna see another barber. And which is like bad, but like he's my
Yeah,
client.
it can be scary.
Yeah.
Definitely can be scary.
And like as you put it, you want your clients to have a great experience. You want to lock them in, and as personally, they're your client. And you're only gonna do that with your service, your knowledge, and your expertise. Got any more questions, guys?
Any question, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
booking app do you use?
I use Everybody books me through Square.
So they can do it themselves, or you got to
I have my clients do it. I wish we had a internet or PowerPoint and that would show you how easy.
I swear it's free, right?
It's free for one barber, but if you have to get more than one barber, the cost goes up accordingly. So if you have a whole shop, it's going to be more expensive than, let's say, a one-man studio. But what I do is, like I said, if you focus on Google nowadays, you're fine. Because if you look at the statistics, most people use Google, like old people, young people, doctors, lawyers. The people you want in your network are probably using Google, not Instagram and TikTok. And statistically, I think that you'll find that Google is statistically more widely used.
So what they is with Square, would they just download the app?
I don't have people to download apps. The psychological barrier of you having to get someone to download an app is a mental block I don't want my clients to have. How many times have you download something like, oh shit, I gotta have an app for this, and just turn off? So I don't want that. But you can have an app that does the same thing, but you don't need to force your clients to have that.
So without the app, how do they do it?
They just go online. I have a website that if you search my barbershop, I have a website. The website will directly take you to my calendar, and they just pick a spot. It literally says the day of the week, the time, they come in. You can set it to where it's 24 hours in advance, 3 days in advance, and they just come in, they book, they show up, and they leave.
You got the Square platform?
Yeah. I also hear Acuity is real good. Acuity has good integration with websites. If you're building a website to host any type of calendar, I like Acuity a lot more, and it is very friendly for barbers and barbershops.
Square is like great for small town because a lot of people don't like to download the app.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like psychologically, getting a client to download an app is a barrier that I don't want them to have to think about.
Especially like the only person using that app, I was like, when I went back to my own time, I didn't use Boost, I used Square. But I was like, you don't have to download it, it's free, all this kind of stuff.
But the thing the 60-figure barber program did is it puts all this information in an easy to find spot, and that's what really helped me as a barber because I would never know this by myself. I would never have enough patience to learn this stuff all by myself. But it puts it in a limelight where I can easily find it. Now, do I say you need to spend $3,000 for the program? That's an iffy, but I think you can find people who you can ask these questions a lot easier than paying $3,000 for it.
The program is $3,000.
I believe currently the price point's about $3,000, but I think you can do a Karma Pay or something and pay like $300 a week or a month, but it comes out about $3,000 or $4,000.
Like you said, you got your own studio, like just your one-man barbershop, I guess.
Correct.
How important is it for like people to find you on Google? Like, what are your strategies for like somebody to find you as far as like looking for a barber near me, and like if you're like people in the studio, what is something they need to do as far as like promoting this?
Oh man, I could sit here all day telling you about search engine optimization and how to rank on Google, but that's something you're gonna have to look up yourself. But there is a thing called search engine optimization, where you as a business owner lead people to your business address based on what you do on your websites. So by having X keywords available on my website, it will draw people's attention to your site. So when they search best barber, best fade, blurriest fade, crispiest lineup, you can implement those in your website as headers to get people to find so your website shows up. So There's also yeah, it's sort of like hashtags, right? But it's keywords that people use to search specific phrases. Like, for instance, if people are going to find a barbershop in a city, they search barbershop near me. Well, how do you address that? Well, you either can name your business barbershop near me, or you could put it somewhere on your website that gets checked by Google to pop up. So when someone searches that specific phrase, your business pops up. And that's what I do. But that's a whole nother can of beans. Right? That's a lot of work. But would I have known this strategy without Chris Bossio's help? Probably wouldn't. Let her know not have enough wherewithal to go find it.
Got any more questions for my guy here? Outro?
Well, guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's not, at the end of the day, you don't have to be the best barber, but you got to be the most consistent barber. And if you can do that, clients will find you as long as you can give them 100% of what you think you're worth. And that's it.
All right. Appreciate it. Y'all give it up for Mr. Todd, man.
All right, thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you. So, I appreciate you, Todd.